Good morning, Internet. This is the old fat dad. Let me show you what I got for you today. Today, it is literally negative 100 degrees, and I'm freezing my butt off a little bit, but hey, we're out here, and we're going to be taking a look at these two different types of ammunition. But wait a second, they look exactly the same. That's right, Federal also likes to follow Winchester in making very confusing boxes for their ammunition, even though these are completely different types of ammo. So let's take a closer look. So, despite their similar packaging, we actually have got, whoa, where's my finger? This is a 31 grain copper-plated hollow point, and it's going 1,430 feet per second, whereas this guy is a 38 grain copper-plated hollow point, and it's going 1,260 feet per second. To test this ammo out today, we're gonna first run it through the chronograph, see if the manufacturer's claim matches up with reality, and then we're gonna take it out to about 25 yards and just shoot a couple groups and see how it does accuracy wise. And then we'll finish up with our small game simulator. Shoot the old dog food can. Got a tough skin, meaty interior, and we'll shoot the pop can too, just to see what it does. And then over in my car, I'm heating up the ballistic modeling clay because it is basically a solid block of ice right now, but hopefully it'll be nice and warm for us to shoot as our final test of the day. Okay, first up is the slow Game Shok ammo. $12.54, $12.22, $12.17, $11.85. Uh-oh. Got a jam. She goes. Okay. Last slow round. Here we go. $12.87. Okay, now for the fast Game Shok. $13.35, $13.77, $14.13, $14.00, $14.03. I believe that'll do her. Let me, through the magic of internet wizardry, put the stats up here for you somewhere. Enjoy that. Yeah. Okay. Is it good? It's good. Let's move on to the accuracy targets. Alright, let's do the accuracy test. 25 yards. We're going to shoot 3 5-shot groups. First up is the slow Game Shok. Next up for accuracy, the fast Game Shok. Alright, let's go take a look at the results. Here are the Game Shok accuracy results. This side's slow, this side's fast. I'm actually pretty impressed by these groupings at 25 yards, especially with the fast Game Shok. If you look back at some of my other videos, maybe I'll post a little link up there, hypervelocity ammo does not typically group this good at 25 yards. So that is pretty impressive. I think the slow Game Shok for a high velocity round is hanging in there with some of the better rounds. From the chronograph you can see that we did have some pretty big variations in speed, so that could account for these vertical kind of looking groups here. But when they were all shooting about the same speed, it looks like we get some really stellar groups, especially here and here. You know what I'm going to do? Let's move this out to 50 and just shoot one group at 50 of each of these. Alright, let's do the slow Game Shok at 50. One group, 5 shots. Okay, now for 5 shots of the fast ammo. Alright, let's take a look at those results. Here are the 50-yard groups with the slow and fast Game Shok. The slow Game Shok is actually not doing too bad. Looks like it's probably a little over an inch size group. These little black squares are an inch. And the fast stuff, I think it's good stuff. I think this is pretty accurate stuff, especially for hypervelocity ammo. The shot right here is actually 2 shots. I had to go back and look at the film. I was wondering if I had one off paper or something, because I only see 4 holes. But yeah, there's 2 bullets in that one hole. There's one guy over there. And then, you know, 4 right here, and that's easily within an inch. So for hypervelocity ammo, I'd say that this Game Shok is very accurate. Now it's my favorite time. Time for the reactive targets. First up, small game simulator. A dog food with the slow Game Shok. Yeah. All right, let's hit that pop can with the slow Game Shok. Oh, nice. Okay, time for the fast Game Shok. First up is the small game simulator. Wow. Okay. Next up, the pop can. Fast Game Shok. Here we go. Very nice. Here is the carnage from our reactive targets test. Let's do the pop cans first. This is the fast Game Shok, and here is the slow Game Shok, and both of them blew up the pop cans, no problem. Not much of a difference that we can tell there, and I'm going to be honest, you probably can't tell much of a difference in any of these ammo tests, but I just really like shooting pop cans, so I'm going to keep on doing it. Okay, next up. Here are our small game simulators, and let's do the slow one first. So I believe this is our entry, and it's just a 22 sized hole there. And on the back side, you know, it's decent. I think regular high velocity stuff also performs pretty similar to this, where you get a 22 size hole in, and then you get a nice little hole out the back, but nothing spectacular. Now, the fast stuff is another story. I mean, a couple hundred feet per second, what a difference it makes. This is actually the entry, and you can see that's where the bullet hit right down there, and just blew up the front with the shock of the entry, and then came out that bottom with a lot of power as well, punched a nice little hole. I'm actually really impressed with this fast Game Shok. All right, let's shoot some clay. First up, the slow Game Shok. Next up, Fast Game Shok. Let's go take a look at our results. Here are our 4 shots on clay, 2 slows, and the 2 Fast Game Shoks, and interestingly, they all went out the back. So, I'm going to open this up and take a look at it, and I'm going to smush it back down and try and put it long ways, and hopefully we can catch some of these bullets. Okay, here's the channel for the Fast Game Shok, and that's a pretty nice little track there. Got a pretty wide opening, and then it tapers down pretty quickly and heads out of that clay block. Let me flip it around. And on this side we can see the track for the slow Game Shok. I know it's hard to tell, but it's actually a good bit smaller of a track, but you got that nice big hollow point opening in the beginning, and then it kind of just peters off and gets about 22 sized out the back. So let's smush this thing back together, and I'm going to take some more shots here long ways and see if I can catch those bullets. Well, I had to shoot the block about 10 more times, but I finally captured some bullets here. Turns out these things penetrate really darn well. Let's start out with the slow ones. Here you can see the 2 bullets from the Game Shok slower ammo, and it's not too bad. I mean, they definitely mushroomed out. Nothing super impressive, but you could say they did their job. And finally, let's take a look at the 31 grain hypervelocity stuff. And this stuff expanded really well, held together really well, especially for a hypervelocity. A lot of times the little hollow point lip on hypervelocity ammo will separate and kind of fall off, and the core will keep on moving. But in this case, you can see everything held together and mushroomed out really darn well. Final thoughts on this Game Shok ammunition. I honestly came into this test not expecting a whole lot out of either of them, and I am pleasantly surprised today. Although the slower version, this is the 1260 feet per second version, didn't really do anything special. It performed pretty much along the lines of all the other high velocity hollow point ammo that I've tested in the past. Didn't stand out in any particular way. The fast stuff though, and this is our 31 grain moving at 1430 feet per second. This stuff is the real deal. I think that of all the hypervelocity that I've tested, this one is probably the best in regards to accuracy and terminal performance and just the bullet design and holding together. So I am really happy to have discovered this. I also think that it's probably not too expensive, and I will post up whatever kind of numbers I can find somewhere up in there. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.